4:30 a.m., we were woken up with the popcorn. You know what popcorns are? We were woken up by those things. And that was a confrontation between the armed opposition group and our soldiers, the SSPDF, in two detaches, the one in Lasso and the one in Libugo. Whether it was by surprise or not, they overran these two places anyway. And we were there in the church, and all of a sudden we saw people running, of course for safety, and out of panic to the church, and others went deep into the bushes. Children of 5 years or less entering into those bushes in order to hide. Imagine that. And those who took refuge to the church, we have to tell them, enter into the church, so that you are not caught up with the bullets that are flying over. And after 3-4 hours, the soldiers, SSPDF, went and took back the places that were overrun. And we were all there waiting for directives. What do we do now? And we were told to keep calm in our places, and indeed we were calm. Nothing happened to us, and nothing happened to any civilian, thank God. No civilian was killed.
Bishop Lodiong said despite no casualties recorded, some families were temporarily separated from their children who fled into nearby bushes to escape the fighting.
We would like to say whether that confrontation is justified or not, let those who are armed know that they cause pain to the innocent in any case. And the innocent, most of them are children and women. There was a family that lost the children, did not know where they have gone. The children took off to their own direction, and when the woman got up looking for the children, she could not find them. They are gone. And she struggles to get a blanket and mat, because inside the bush you have to cover the children. In the process of looking for this, the children are gone. You can imagine children scattered in the bush. We have said several times that war is not good, and let us talk our issues if they are issues.
The clergy called on all armed groups to lay down their weapons and embrace dialogue as the most reasonable path to resolving disputes.
This is my appeal to all those who are armed, both in the opposition and those who are in the government. Let us renounce violence, and let us take the bull by its horns to talk on the table. We are reasonable human beings. Let us not behave like animals. Let us behave as people who reason, because God created us in His own image, and that means we are reasonable human beings. We can talk and we can understand each other. There is nothing that can defeat us by talking. The guns, when they talk, they destroy. When they talk, they make us not to devolve. When they talk, they cause us suffering. But when we talk, our mouth talk, we solve issues. Let not the gun talk. Let the mouth talk and the heart.
The African Union has renewed its call on the UN Security Council to gradually lift the arms embargo imposed on South Sudan to enable the unity government to expedite the unification of the necessary unified forces. In a communique released August 15, 2025, the AU Peace and Security Council said lifting of arms embargo will help address the security challenges facing the country. It also appealed to the international partners to lift sanction measures imposed on the country to facilitate the implementation of the outstanding pillars of the agreement. Meanwhile, the EU expressed concern about the worsening of the humanitarian situation marked by the acute food insecurity, displacement, and limited humanitarian access. It went on to appeal to all partners and humanitarian agencies and member states in a position to sustain humanitarian support and ensure assistance to humanitarian workers and civilians. In another call, the AU appealed to the South Sudanese authorities to ensure the safety of humanitarian workers and civilians. It urged the unity government to find solutions to the cases of intercommunal violence. This is while reiterating its call on the responsible authorities in all parts of the country to work sincerely towards an inclusive process to address the root causes of the continued conflict to promote durable peace in these areas. Furthermore, the AU urged the government to provide a clear electoral roadmap with benchmarks leading to elections in 2026. It further expressed deep concern over the current political and security situation in the country, the continued preventive detention of the first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar, and the prevailing political tension, which it said risked derailing the transition. The AU urged the parties to engage in a high-level dialogue with the support of the African Union Commission as the only viable and sustainable path towards addressing any leaders' differences they may have. It also reiterated its call for an immediate and unconditional release of the first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar, along with all political detainees. It added that if there is concrete evidence against them, the government should process their cases and should process their cases as soon as possible and in respect of all fundamental judicial guarantees. Inclusion, the AU urged all parties to take immediate steps to de-escalate the prevailing political tension before the situation deteriorates further. It stressed that all efforts are geared towards preventing a return to conflict and fostering the inclusive and timely implementation of the agreement, as well as supporting a peaceful transition towards South Sudan's first democratic elections in December 2026. The executive director of Talipayam in Terkeka County says the road linking the area to Terkeka town has been cut off due to heavy rainfall. Speaking to iRadio in an interview this morning, Peter Mayen Apuk said heavy rain have submerged the road, making it nearly impassable for motorists. He said the unpaved roads in the area are often rendered inaccessible during the rainy season, severely affecting travel and transport.
The burning issues here in the Payam is the issue of the road. The issues of the road from here, from this end, we are cut off from the county. The road is not attainable because the road was not repaired and not contacted up to now. We are cut off. We do not get services from the county. And into the side of Yaro also, there is no bit of movement, unlike in dry season. But this time, we are cut off from the county. We, of course, we do as a Payam director, we are used to report to the county authority because our channel of communication, our channel of administration, we used to report to the county when the county has to take it to the state level. Yes, that is the channel of communication. Any issues in the Payam, I do used to report to the county. That is the duty of the commissioner to report to the state level.
Meanwhile, Mayen also raised concerns about the absence of security forces in the area and appealed to the national government for the deployment of police.
And again, in my Payam, the deployment of the forces, there's no forces in the Payam. I have no forces completely. But forces, soldiers, we need deployment of forces to the Payam. We have only police officers, policemen, who are not even enough. They are not enough. They are very few.
You are listening to iRadio Afternoon News. The South Sudan National Bureau of Standards has intercepted several non-compliant food consignments at the Nimule border following routine inspections aimed at protecting public health. In a statement dated August 17th, the National Bureau of Standards said a recent inspection at the Nimule port of entry resulted in the re-export and rejection of food products deemed unfit for consumption. It said, and I quote, 2 trucks carrying maize flour and maize grains were re-exported to the country of origin after laboratory analysis confirmed aflatoxin levels above the permissible limits for human consumption. 1 truck carrying beans was rejected due to the presence of live insect infestation, rendering the product unfit for trade and consumption. End quote. The Bureau stated that it conducts inspection assessment 7 days a week at all official entry points to ensure that only safe, high-quality goods enter the country. The South Sudan National Bureau of Standards has reaffirmed its commitment to consumer protection, fair trade, and enforcing national and international standards across South Sudan's markets. More inspections are expected as authorities tighten quality controls at the border. And finally, a first ever Commissioners Forum commenced this morning in Awil Town, northern Bahr el Ghazal State. The event was inaugurated by State Governor Simon Ober Maud, who called for an end to the random creation of local and internal land border disputes. According to the governor's press office, Governor Maud reiterated that the state's top priority is service provision to the people. The forum is organized as part of the implementation of Resolution 26 of the 8th Governors Forum 2025. This year's 5-day event is held under the theme Building a Peaceful and Prosperous Northern Bahr el Ghazal State. It has brought together county commissioners, local authorities, and other stakeholders aimed at strengthening local governance and coordination throughout the state. The key focus is to address cross-border trade issues with neighboring Sudan, including customs disputes, market access, and security concerns affecting border communities. The forum also seeks to boost economic ties, streamline trade processes, and foster sustainable development in the region. The gathering will provide a platform for collaboration, performance review, and alignment with both state and national policies. This is iRadio Afternoon News, and for the regional and international news, we are joined by Nyamod Pod.
More than 40 people were missing in a boat accident in Nigeria after a boat conveying 50 persons to a popular market in northwest Sokoto State capsized on Sunday, the country's emergency agency said. The passengers were traveling to Goronyo Market, a popular food produce market in the state, when the boat capsized. 10 people have been rescued, Zubeida Umar, the head of the National Emergency Management Agency, said in a statement on social media platform X. Elsewhere, a group of 30 and 50 critically ill and injured Palestinian children will be evacuated from Gaza to the UK for medical treatment in the coming weeks, the BBC understands. They will be the first children brought to the UK for treatment as part of a government operation being coordinated by the Foreign Office, Home Office, and Department of Health. The children will be selected by the World Health Organization and will travel with family members via a third country where biometric data will be collected. Finally, Myanmar will begin its general election on 28 December, its military government announced in a phased poll widely condemned as a sham that will be used to entrench the junta's power. This will be the first vote since the junta seized power in a bloody coup in 2021 and imprisoned democratically elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi. Myanmar has been embroiled in a civil war since, with deadly battles between the military and ethnic armed groups, many of whom have said they will not permit voting in their areas. That's all from the international scenes, and now back to you, my colleague in the studio.
Thank you, Nyamod. And for the sports news, we are joined by my colleague, Darlington Moses.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Baria Johnsons. The South Sudan national basketball team will face Senegal in the quarterfinals on the way to meeting Nigeria in the semi-finals. The South Sudan team qualified for this round after finishing third behind Guinea and Angola, the leaders, while Senegal qualified as second in the group behind Egypt. The South Sudan national basketball team has met Senegal 3 times in AfroBasket and FIBA World Cup qualifiers, recording 1 win and 2 losses. The first encounter came at AfroBasketball 2021, where Senegal dominated with 104 to 75 victory. In 2022, during the AfroBasket and World Cup qualifiers, South Sudan pushed harder but narrowly fell short, losing 69 to 66. The Bright Stars bounced back in 2023, however, securing a testament 83 to 75 win over Senegal in the qualifiers. In England, Ruben Amorim's goalkeeper gamble backfired as Ricardo Califeri's first half header gave Arsenal victory over Manchester United at Old Trafford in the €200 million summer rebuild. United opted against bringing a new goalkeeper. Still in England, Eberechi Eze was denied a brilliant free kick goal and potential fairy tale ending in what his final appearance for Crystal Palace in the godless Premier League draw at Chelsea. While in Brazil, forward Neymar left the field in tears after Santos suffered a 6-0 home defeat by Vasco da Gama. The loss was the biggest of Neymar's career, and it was also the first time that Santos have conceded 6 goals at home in Brazilian Serie A match. In boxing, Moses Ituoma needed less than 2 minutes to effectively stop Dillian White and further strengthen his credentials as the next heavyweight star. Heading a card for the first time, the 20-year-old Briton draws to the occasions in what was billed as the biggest test of his career to date. After some precise and powerful combinations, Ituoma sent White, 37-year-old, down with a thundering right. With 119 seconds on the clock, referee Michael Hook waved off the fight after White had climbed back to his feet. Ituoma has now won all 13 of his bouts as a professional, with 11 of those victories coming by knockout. This is all in the world of sport, and back to you, Baria Johnson.
Thank you, Darlington Moses. You're listening to iRadio News, and to end this bulletin, here's a recap of the main headlines. The Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Yei, Alex Lodiong, says he was caught up in the weekend clashes between armed opposition groups in Lasupayam, while confirming that there were no civilian casualties. The African Union has renewed its call on the UN Security Council to gradually lift the arms embargo imposed on South Sudan to enable the unity government to expedite the unification of the necessary unified forces. And the executive director of Talipayam in Terkeka County says the road linking the area to Terkeka town has been cut off due to heavy rainfall. That's the end of iRadio Afternoon News. If there is a story or an event you would like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message on +211 925 287870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page, iRadio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at 1:30. I am Baria Johnson. Thank you for listening.